Hi everybody, it's Dawn from Glory Grace Farm. I know it's been about a month and I apologize. We've just had some illness with both my sons struggling. We have no dental coverage, or at least my youngest now has dental coverage back because he has the teen care because of his disability, and so they have just recently given adults coverage for certain work, so we're trying to find a dentist to take him to, but the rest of us don't have any coverage, so we struggle with some dental issues, just being open and honest. And so lately we've been battling that, but I wanted to get on here and try to show you what I have been getting done, just a little bit at a time. I've been trying to work on my tomatoes and getting them in, and I think this year I'm the crazy tomato lady, because I have a little over 100 in the ground right now, and it doesn't look like it'd be 100, but it's about 100. And I have another probably 25 to 50. I'm not sure, I haven't counted them, I just collected them, and some of them got wilty. That little pan, let's see if I can, right there next to my hori, it was some of my prunings from yesterday, and I think they got too hot in the sun and everything. But I have some in a jar inside and they're doing really well, and I have some other ones that didn't get scorched, so those will just be tossed. But I am struggling with raccoons. You can see here where one was completely dug up. I did the trick I've done before in the past, where I planted the tomato with an egg in the hole. I broke the egg. I did not leave it whole so that it would rot and put off odor. I broke it, and you can see the shell. But for some reason, they did this over a week ago, and they come and dug up some of them, and some of them ruined, some of them I got repaired. That one's really struggling because it was dug up yesterday or last night. These were dug up last night, and I've got them stood back up. Those wilty ones there were dug up last night, and I've got them replanted. But they're just randomly picking. Thankfully, it was only these 2 rows that I did with eggs in them. So the rest, they've kind of like dug at them, but they know there's nothing there, so they leave them alone. But if these die because of the stress and stuff, I have replacements ready. Thank goodness, because the prunings I have taken are very healthy and quite large, actually. Like this one, I'm afraid is not going to pull through. It was such a strong, healthy plant, and they totally had it uprooted completely. It just infuriates me. You take the time to do the work, and then critters come and wreck it. But these are temporarily staked because we had thunderstorms rolling through, as I posted in my community posts, and I was afraid they were going to blow over because they've gotten really tall really fast with just some rain showers that we've had. And I had not gotten my trellising done, which you can see the trellising here. I think I'm really going to like this trellising. It's what I used over in the little garden. We'll go over there in a minute and I'll show you how it's grown up. Sorry about that. That was really loud. But these are doing really well. I went through yesterday while in between the rain, or when I thought there was going to be more rain. But you can tell it's really taut because these are secured in with T-post. I think that's going to be the best option for using this kind of netting. On the other little garden, I did not use T-post. I only had a few. I've got to actually buy more to finish my tomatoes. Ty helped me get this row here ready with the T-posts to put the netting on, so I may come out here and do that this evening or in the morning. But the way I've planted my tomatoes, oh look, I'll show you right here, proof. See the raccoon prints? They're traveling through and just having their way. That's really annoying. I hope that's not banging on that. Anyway, sorry, my cord was hitting the mic. But I made this row. Mom isn't always steady on her feet and struggles with fatigue easily. And at the resale store last year, I found one of those really, really nice high dollar walkers that has the hand brakes and it has a place where you can sit down. And I told her, I said, well, that'll be great for out in the garden. I'll fix it so that you can take a basket and put on the seat, and then I'll make the rows wide enough so she can walk up and down the rows if she wants to come out and help in the garden when it comes time to collecting everything. And I haven't cleaned up all my pruning, so sorry for the mess. But so I've got these laid out to where there's plenty of space to walk. Once everything grows up, there'll still be space because I'm going to keep everything pruned and tied up. And I think it's going to work out really great. And she'll be able to just take her walker and roll up and down through here, have her basket, and help me collect everything. And then on the outside, I've got to prune to get my lawnmower some gas so I can mow and weed eat and all the things if I can handle toting my weed eater, because on the outside of this row are peppers planted and every other is a marigold to hopefully flower and help keep the pests and stuff away. But you can see, sorry, the lighting is, it's evening time. My grass is growing as faster than even my garden is, and it is what it is, and I do what I can. And it was one of those days that I was like comfortable. I wasn't feeling good all night. I didn't even go to bed this morning until the sun was up because I just wasn't feeling well. I was up with my son because he's not been feeling well at night and struggles with sleep because of different medical issues that I've discussed in older videos. So I was nauseated for some reason all night. I don't know if it's just my nerves or what, but so I struggled and didn't sleep until this morning. But I could happily just be inside sitting, but I thought, no, I have a channel that's growing, and I'm so thankful for everybody that has joined in the last month and has been watching my videos for the last month. And I just can't express how appreciative I am that you guys are standing by me and encouraging me to continue trying. The sun is not good right now. So I'm just going to keep trying and doing what I can as I can. Piggy's Piddles is wanting me to try to do an live, so I may try to do that one day. I think I have to do that with my computer. I can't do that with my phone, so I'll have to see if I can find a place to set my computer up. Look here. There's some little baby maters growing. Oh gosh, the lighting. And there's some little babies. Let's see if I can find them. There he is. Now, the fun part of my garden, to get back to the garden instead of just chit-chatting about life and stuff. These are, I'm hoping the seeds I ordered there, they were just called pear-shaped. And they were huge paste tomatoes, and I'm hoping that's what those are. But I'm not sure. Those may just be a type of cherry tomato that makes those little pear-shaped ones. But that's okay too, because we like cherry tomatoes. Mom loves her slicers. But that's getting to what I was getting ready to say. My garden is going to be a bunch of surprises. There's very few of the tomatoes that I know, or I'm at least pretty sure of what they are, because of the fact that I started seeds, they didn't come up, and so I would dump out my dirt into my main tub that I was keeping my potting soil in, and I would re-sow, something else later. And then some of the trays I just re-sowed seeds in, and they weren't necessarily the same seeds. So, and I was posting on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So people they were like, agreeing with me in prayer that God would make my tomato seeds take, because everything else was sprouting that I was trying to do except for my tomatoes. There's another baby. Yes, hello, Spock. He's wanting to photobomb. This is Spock because he has pointy ears. Your eyes are dirty, mister. But again, this aisle, every other aisle is wide. So this aisle has the peppers and marigolds planted along it. So it's just going to be a bunch of surprises, because some of them will be the intentional seeds that I tried to plant. I'm really hoping and praying that some of them are black cherry tomatoes, because I absolutely love black cherry tomatoes. That's the ones that I enjoy. I'm not a tomato fan. They're acidic, and I like all the things you can make out of tomatoes, but I don't like just eating sliced tomatoes or anything. But I'm hoping this year, with these growing like they are, and being part of it was a seed pack that was 30 different varieties of tomatoes in this little seed pack that I've got off of Amazon. And it had, I think it's still got a bunch of seeds, because it was like 1,000 seeds or something like that. But it was supposed to be 30 different varieties, and I thought, well, that'll be fun. I'll do that. And well, my whole tomato garden is going to be surprise. Figure me out. I still have a few marigolds to sit out. And then I've got some empty holes. Those were not, well, that one was dug up, but the one on the end, I don't think it ever had anything in it. So I've got some to finish coming in here, and then I've got to repair this one here because they dug that one up and killed it. And so we'll just keep moving on. I'm thinking, I know I have enough tomatoes I could go ahead and plant here, but I think I'm going to do this whole row in my assortment of flowers that I still have to plant, that are hopefully going to hang on until I can get them in the ground. Okay, we're going to go over here. This is really tall grass. This is, you got to remember, this was my chicken lot. And you can tell the last couple of places that the chicken house, this A-frame that we have the babies in, was setting, was right in this area. And I leave it for about a week, and then I scoot it over and everything. So this is like super, super good. I'm going to mow this down, put my weed fabric, I ordered a new roll of weed fabric, put my weed fabric down, and I'm going to plant my watermelons right here. And hopefully they'll do really, really well. Let's go over here. There's some water bottles I've had carrying water around before I got my water hose. And we will do a quick chick show. Hi, babies. The chickens are doing really good. The babies, they're growing. They're becoming beautiful. I gotta clean up their little mess they've made in there. Yeah, y'all are hopping. If they wouldn't get out the net, I would go ahead and move them over with the big ones, but I think they're still so small, they would just get out of the net too easy, and I would be terrified. I do have some roosters, so we'll have to see what goes there, and who stays, and who maybe goes to freezer camp or finds a new home. I've got a friend that's talking about maybe getting some chickens again, but I don't know if she wants roosters. But that's them. They're doing really good. No more losses. This will be, like I said, watermelons all planted in here until we get to about this section where the doghouse and the little pond are. This is where I've been bringing our new future livestock guardian dog. He's just a little fella right now. I didn't bring him out to play because I didn't want him getting icky, and he's actually napping right now because the big girls wear him out and they're playing. But I have him a little lead. So he comes out here and he hangs out. He plays in the pool while I work in the garden. Okay, now to the fun stuff to see the improvement and the jungle it has become. We have our squash garden, cucumbers, and our beautiful sunflowers. Look, my very first sunflower ever that I started from seed bloomed yesterday. I'm so happy. If I knew how to make a thumbnail, that would be my thumbnail. But I did a boo-boo. I thought this was a squash, and it is, but it's a pumpkin. So it's not a yellow squash. This again, it goes back to I had seeds that didn't take, so I dumped out my dirt and I re-sowed things. There's a crooked neck back in there. And then things decided to come up, so I thought it was what I had re-sown. But surprise, surprise, it would be the previous seed that was still in the dirt that decided to suddenly come up. Fix my little flag here. Oh. There we go. Love grows here. That's my house, and that's my life. We might not have a lot of things, but we have an abundance of love. But you can see they're doing beautifully. I think I'm getting some powdery mildew, and so I'm going to try to mix up the dishwashing liquid in a spray bottle and try that and see if that takes care of it, because the plants are super healthy. It just looks like they're getting powdery mildew. So I wondered if it was the variety at one point, but I think it's just the actual powdery mildew. But you can see this. Oh, look at that one. Looky there, guys. I hadn't even seen that sweet baby. This may be one of the sweetmeats. I'm not sure what they look like when they first started out. I've never grown one. I just knew it's supposed to be, the thing that was on it, the tag, is a pie pumpkin. So we'll just have to watch that and see if it becomes a pie pumpkin or if it's a sweetmeat, how big it gets. But you can see the sunflowers are as tall as me. I'm so happy about that. And then here we have our cucumber aisle. And we're not super fond of the pickling cucumbers as just snacking. They are not a good snacking cucumber. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do refrigerator pickles, because I didn't actually plant enough to really get a big harvest all at once to have the 50 of them at one time to do the batch. So I may just try doing some refrigerator pickles and see how that goes. The market mores, though, are doing really well. I harvested a bunch of them. It looks like I have a couple more maybe to get tonight. But they're trellising good, but they're so heavy. Without the T-post, this is just kind of getting pulled down. So I need to put more supports in my netting maybe and see if that helps. Like here, I've got the netting supported by a post. And maybe I should put one in the middle here, because these are going to get super heavy when they start producing, and I may try to prune them back a bit. These are the cantaloupes, and they are absolutely covered in blossoms. So I haven't noticed any little baby. Oh, there is one. Look, teeny tiny. There's a teeny tiny baby cantaloupe. Oh, there's another one. So they are starting to develop. They're getting pollinated. That's good. We love cantaloupe. And I don't know if you guys have ever had frozen cantaloupe and then get it out on a hot day and thaw it out to where it's kind of icy and crystallized but soft. It is the best thing on a hot summer day. And then here we have more sunflowers. They're getting their heads. They're not as tall, but they're putting on their heads. And then these are the sweetmeats. Don't see any babies yet there. My cantaloupes are coming over into my sweetmeats. I need to get this one. Oh, I see a baby on that one. I need to get this one turned around, going to the outside like I had intended. But look, there's a little baby. Okay. That one's going out the direction it's supposed to go. Oh, wow, look at that one. Can't believe I haven't noticed that one. That one's growing really well. And it hasn't really vined out, but it's putting on a good little pumpkin there. Or sweet meat squash. Oh, there's another one. Those might be different things. I don't know. They're all supposed to be sweetmeats, but as I've said, surprise, surprise. It's the name of the game for this garden this year. And that's okay. It's food. It'll either be food for us or food for the chickens. And maybe even some for the dogs to add in. See the little baby in there? This one is a green flesh honeydew. So that's the garden for now. I still have pumpkins to set out. I have watermelons to set out because my watermelons are putting on babies. And I had to wait on getting my new roll of fabric to get them put out somewhere. They're going to be over here in the front yard, but I'm not quite sure where exactly. But you guys, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing as I can. And that's all we can do, is just do what we can as we can. These are my little Dollar Tree decorations. They're holding up good and make the garden cheerful. I've got some other patriotic flags and things I got to try to help keep birds and stuff out once more things start coming on. Especially the tomatoes. I'm going to hang the flags, I think, around the tomatoes and everything to protect them. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention. There is only one row of this, well, 1.5 rows of this garden area actually tilled. I could not. There was no way physically this year with my tiny little 15-inch wide tiller that I could till this whole area and then set everything out. So I've pretty much done this entire garden the same way I did this one over here, and it is all, I laid out the fabric and it's killed the grass underneath, and I've dug my holes individually and set my plants in them. And you can see it's kind of a version of a successful no-till garden that's working out really well. This even this area is not where chickens were. So this is just thankfully healthy soil. I have not amended. I put I put very little 444 in each hole when I planted, if I'm not mistaken. I remembered to do that. But I have not added anything since. But because for one reason, I am terrified. I have fish emulsion. I am terrified to use fish emulsion because I used fish emulsion last year and they did the same thing as with the eggs. They came and they dug up my tomatoes that I had last year, which were very few. I did not do a big garden last year at all. It was just so Mom could maybe have some tomatoes. It was very bad. It just didn't work out well. I had very few tomatoes off of that expensive tomato plant. And everything. But this, like I said, I laid out my fabric. I'll show you right here, so you know I'm not fibbing. Watch out, Spock. Not right now. Spock. No. That's the dead grass. No tilled. This just kills the grass underneath. And I dug my holes. Some of them I drilled with my auger and a drill. And some of them I just dug with my hori-hori knife. And I think I preferred that. It was easier to control, and using that auger with the drill about broke my wrist, because if it hits a rock of any size, it yanks the entire drill, and it can really hurt you if you're not careful. And I already have trouble with my wrists because of arthritis in my hands, so it was like a no-go for me. Tyler came out and helped me one day when he was feeling good, dig the holes. That was a super big help. But I think I preferred, even though it takes longer, I just sit on the ground and I hand dig my holes. After I burned out my circles with my little lighter, I did not buy an expensive lighter. If you buy it's kind of like a pistol grip regular cigarette lighter. I think it said it was a twin flame or something like that, but it was just like $5 or $6 at the Walmart, I believe is where I found it. And it does exactly what the expensive torches do without having to buy the butane tanks or using a big propane tank and pulling it around. You just cut them up by hand and it works fantastic. I'll try to show that on another video when I start setting out some of the other things, if I can try to figure out a way to set up the tripod. But I'm doing what I can as I can, like I said, and that's all we can do in this life sometimes. When you don't have proper equipment, when you don't have full health, when you don't have... Hi, dove. I take that as a little blessing from the Lord. A little dove just landed on my trail sim for a second. But we just do what we can, while we can, how we can. And that's what I did in this garden. This garden is a work of love. And I've told the Lord I will do what He tells me to do with these tomatoes. Some of them are going to be canned for our family. Some of them will be fresh eating. We eat a lot of pizza sauce and a lot of spaghetti sauce. So that's my goal, is to have a lot to do that with. But I also want to donate some, and then if there are extras after the donations are done on the donation days, then I may take them to a local fruit stand or put them out here on my road and see about selling them to make a few extra bucks during tomato season. Okay, let's go up here real quick and we'll check one more thing. That's my little tiller covered up over there. This here, I decided to make the whole patch corn. You can see the first planting back there. It's doing really well. Some of it's a couple of feet tall. Some of it's still catching up. But I didn't have great germination on it. So I wanted to definitely get more in the ground, because we're not going to try to can corn, as far as I understand from what Mom said. She doesn't necessarily want to can corn, but we're just going to, blanch it, do whatever, and put it in the freezer and have corn on the cob whenever we want corn on the cob. This whole area here, I just sowed the other day after a rain, and there were 200 seeds in the packet. I'm going to buy a stirrup hoe next month so I can come out here and hoe this in between. I know, honey. I got a chicken that's loose. She's a rebel and she keeps escaping every day. But that's it for now. I will catch my little rebel chicken and put them up for the night, and then figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the evening. But I didn't have enough room. I'll go back to the corn for just a second. I did not have enough room for all the rows to be like neatly perfect. So this end is going to be kind of crazy corn patch, and it's just going to be what it is. And we'll appreciate it, and we'll thank God for every ear that we get. I've just got to take care of the raccoon problem so that they don't steal my corn. I would not be happy if they stole my corn. So, this is Dawn from Glory Grace Farm. I thank you so much for watching, for taking the time to come by and check out things. I will try to get another video made as soon as I can. I am trying to figure out a way to start doing some cooking videos. I really want to do that. My house is not conducive to that during the day, so I'm thinking I may try to do cooking videos in the evening after it's quiet, people are in the bed. I'm a night owl most of the time anyway, so I can go in the kitchen and make something, you know, up and make a video about it, and it'll be quiet and controlled, and because my living room is open to my kitchen, and that's where my oldest son hangs out, is in the living room, and we don't, that's a whole other thing, but I'm going to do what I can. And then I'm thinking about trying to do some like off-grid experiments to teach myself, and I thought I would bring you guys along for learning how to cook things that we might have to cook, say if a power outage happened, or for the person going camping, or whatever emergency situation, cooking on the grill to make biscuits or bread or whatever, and trying to figure out how to do a controlled heat source out of wood and be successful at growing or at cooking things other than just meats on the grill for power outage situations. So I'm thinking about making some videos like that because I can do that outside. And so this is Dawn from Glory Grace Farm. If you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll think about subscribing and hanging out. And if you like this video, or you have an idea for another video of some sorts, or a question, comment down below and I will do my best to answer, or maybe one of my other subscribers will know the answer for you that has a little bit more experience than I do. And I thank you, and I say God bless you to each and every one of you, and have a great week. Thanks.